Okay, we're going to review some of the things that we were working on at Worlds this week with the guys. One thing we want to try and prevent is wrist injuries. So working on the shoulders, the upper back, and the wrist itself is really important. Oftentimes we're really calloused on the palm of the hand, but especially at the wrist crease. So spending a minute or two every day just softening and working on releasing that. So Corey, can you show me where? Yeah, so right at the wrist crease, spending a minute just working on softening the callus a little bit, because that's where some of the nerves travel through to the wrist. We can also work on the movement of the nerves that come down the arm and into the wrist to help shoulder and wrist. And we do a little thing called nerve flossing or nerve mobilization. So find a position of a prayer, and the palms are going to come together and the fingers point up, and the wrists are extended to 90 degrees if possible, and the palms stay together as you slowly go to the side with the hands. You're just going to go until you feel a stretch, and then come back to the middle, go the other way till you feel a stretch, and then back to the middle. Now if your gymnast is really tight along this movement, what will happen is the palms will start to drift apart, or the fingers will start to point forward, and they're going to avoid getting into the stretch position. So try and fine tune that position, and we just do 10, 5 on each side. Another position we're going to do for the nerves coming from the neck and the shoulders and into the wrists and hands is our Egyptian action. So we're going to straighten one arm and extend the fingers, and then bend, and then the other side. So you're going to straighten the arm as much as you can, extend the wrist as much as you can, and the fingers until you feel a stretch. And we do this 10 times on each side. So really easy for your gymnast to add into that first little bit of warm-up where they're just sitting around chatting. They can easily do this, and it doesn't take very long at all. Okay, so 5 on each side, and then we're going to get into a little more specific release with the roller for the upper back. So Corey's going to lay back, put the roller across the shoulder blades, and he's going to keep his bum down. And what we often see the gymnast doing is a big motion. So show me what we often do there, Corey. So doing this big motion up and down, and it's helpful for releasing tension and muscles, but it's not so specific to help the upper back. So he's going to place his bum down. Good. And then Corey, do too much extension and move the lower back. So he's going to do a big arch over the roller. Keep your bum down and just go back as far as you can. So this is often what we see people doing as well. And it's not wrong, but we want to be a little more specific to the upper back. So you're going to come up, Corey. You're going to keep your ribs down. So you're going to try and keep your lower back still. And now he's going to move just the upper back. So the bum stays down, and you're going to do little tiny arches over the roller with just the upper back. Extend more, Corey. So keep yourself still. Yeah, there you go. So he's opening the chest and just working the upper back, trying to extend over the roller and back up. And then even just pause, place the bum on the floor, and then see if you can get a little bit more movement of extension of the upper back. Perfect. And then bring yourself up out of it. Do it again. Okay, so the movement is much smaller but more precise. The roller's really good at getting the spine moving, but there's also a lot of ribs back there that get stiff and stuck. So I like using a ball as well. So grab the ball. And the ball is just smaller, so it can get into more specific spots. So Corey's going to place the ball back there and just feel around. He's going to find some spots that are sore or maybe a little bit stiff. And spending a minute with the ball can be extra helpful. Okay, now let's go into a little bit more activation exercises. So lying on his back, Corey's going to work on externally rotating the shoulders, supinating the forearm and the wrist. So even though it doesn't look like much, turn the hand just a sec, Corey, so the thumb's pointing up to the ceiling, and then show them the action of turning out. So he's going to turn out and push into the mat as much as he can, and he's doing this with both sides. So he's going to push out for 5 seconds, like he's trying to open the chest and push the forearm into the floor and trying to get the thumb towards the mat. Then he relaxes, then he's going to do it again. Push with both sides for 5 seconds, and then relax. And then one more time. So he's activating all of these muscles that are going to help him get into that supinated position, which is often very stiff or difficult for gymnasts. And then he's also going to do the opposite action where he's going to turn the shoulder and the arm and the palm down and push into the mat. And I would even flatten out your palm, Corey, and push him with the hand as well. And what will often happen, and you can exaggerate this, Corey, is you'll see the shoulder start to lift up in your gymnast. So you want to keep the shoulder back into the mat as they do this push. It's 5 seconds, and then relax. And then he's going to do it 2 more times. So push, trying to keep the chest open and the shoulder back into the mat. And then relax. 1 more time. Okay, so we're activating all the muscles down the arm and through the shoulder blade and the shoulder girdle, just this chain of muscles that's going to help these 2 different actions of the shoulder, but also all the way down into the hand. Okay, we're going to go to planks next. So find a low plank position, and what we often see the gymnast doing is having the hands really together and really round it through the upper back. So round even more, Corey. Okay, this is what we want to avoid because this isn't very nice line, and the hips are really flexed as well. So I'm going to get Corey to spread the hands so they're as wide as the elbows. We've got the elbows right under the shoulders, and he's going to, yeah, perfect. He's going to open the hips up a little bit more, and he's going to try and spread the shoulders